watched movies of old and aimed to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week, we're talking about put another shrimp on the barbie. Gladiator.
I remember that line.
Well, Russell Crowe's Australian.
Yeah, it's that scene where he's in the arena and he puts his arms above his head and says, "Put another shrimp on the barbie."
Does Russell Crowe ever play an Australian?
I don't think so.
He either plays an American or a British person.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he plays a Spaniard.
A Spaniard who's British.
Yeah. As they all were. What's your bright spot?
Hey, this past weekend, had a little weekend getaway, which has been much needed. So that was nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it.
Until we got smoked out by all those fires happening. There's a lot of fires.
Where were you? Like what air? Like not city, but like what?
I went
national
back.
Park.
I went
San Bernardino Mountains.
I went to the San Bernardino Mountains.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, because I was like, I don't actually know where the fires are. I have been very busy, so I've hardly checked the news or anything like that, and when I do, it's always awful. So I don't always get all the awful news. I just get awful news. So sometimes I miss it. Yeah. I'm sorry you got smoked out. Was it
okay.
Was it tri-tip or ribs?
It wasn't too bad. Hey. Hey, fun fact.
Yes.
Our boy, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Born in New Zealand.
Oh.
But he was the lead singer of an Australian band.
Did he grow up in New Zealand? Do you have enough detail to figure that out? I've always known him as Australian, but if he's New Zealand,
it's possible that he was born in New Zealand, but his parents were Australian.
No, that doesn't happen. Oh, we're gonna figure this out. If he did grow up fully in New Zealand, what?
Russell Crowe was born in New Zealand, but grew up in Australia,
okay,
they moved to Australia. So he thinks himself an Australian and probably has more of an Australian accent, but
it's also not like fully Australian. I was watching a clip of him like in an interview, and it was genuinely not that every Australian has a thick Australian accent, but you listen to Chris Hemsworth talk.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Crowe doesn't necessarily sound Australian. He doesn't sound British by any means, but he doesn't sound Australian. And I guess not necessarily New Zealand either, but I don't know.
Whoa, he's part Maori.
Oh, wow. He does. I feel like he doesn't embrace that enough. Director Ridley Scott. Producer David Franzoni. Branko, Lustig, Douglas Wick. I just scowled at that name.
The Branko?
Yeah, I was like, what? Screenwriter David Franzoni, John Logan, William Nicholson. Probably story by David Franzoni. I don't know why it doesn't specify that. Like why it. I get it.
Yeah, why it's on there twice.
Yeah, it does it twice. It doesn't specify like story by. I get
story and screenplay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Confirmed.
Nice. Distributor, Universal Pictures, DreamWorks. production company, Scott Free Productions. Paramount Pictures. Oh, wow. DreamWorks Pictures, Universal Pictures. Wow. A lot of people got involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
A rating R for intense graphic combat. No incestuous content. That isn't deemed like.
No, we're not worried about that.
That'd be fine in a PG movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Genre: history, drama, adventure, action. Why? I know it's a. We deem movies of a time prior as historical, but it's not real.
It's historic fiction.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess the history, for whatever reason, it just stands weird to me. Original language: English, Latin. Would have been Latin. And release date.
Oh.
May 4th, 2000.
I knew that you had that queued up, and it still scared me.
Winner. May 5th, 2000. Cinco de Mayo.
Hey.
2000. Budget, $103 million. Man, I'm trying to... Must have been some of that CGI. We got to talk about the visuals of this movie. Gross, U.S., $187 million, almost $188. Opening weekend made $34 million. Worldwide, $465 million. Before I go on, it won 5 awards at the 73rd Academy Awards and was nominated for 7. It won Best Picture, Best Actor, Russell Crowe, Best Visual Effects, Best Sound, Best Costume Design. The other nominations: Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. This is more than 7. Best Supporting Actor, Joaquin Phoenix. Best Original Score, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, and Best Editing. Oh, it said that it was 5 and then an additional 7. I understood that incorrectly. At the 58th Golden Globes, Gladiator won 2 awards and was nominated for an additional 3. Best Motion Picture, Drama, and Best Original Score. Congratulations, Hans. Additional nominations: Best Actor, Russell Crowe. Best Director, Best Supporting Actor. I'd also won a BAFTA.
BAFTA.
I don't know why that hit hard. Okay, so I just wanted to mark that it was very successful by all accounts, but it was also award winning at the time. I think we'll talk about that a little more. I want to talk about maybe what other movies were on the list at that time when we get to talking about the movie overall. Starring Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix. I'm giving it a Mexican accent. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin. Connie Nielsen, Oliver Reed, Derek Jacobi, Djimon Hounsou, and Richard Harris. Cinematography: John Mathieson, edited by Pietro Scalia. And,
Pietro.
Yeah. And music by Hans Zimmer and Lisa Gerard.
Recap! Replay!
And now we transition into a little thing we call Recap Rewind. And if you didn't know that, where you been?
What are you doing
What
here?
are you doing? Hang out a little, you know? Put up your feet, sit by the fire, grab a cup of joe or hot cocoa. There's a heat wave going on, so I don't know why I'm suggesting all that stuff. And listen to the smooth sounds of Tristan recapping the film for you in whatever way he sought fit.
He see fit.
Hissafit. It's another Greek tragedy. Hissafit.
In the shadows of an empire, a soldier stands alone, stripped of family and left for dead. He becomes a ghost in chains, chained not only to the earth, but to the blood-soaked sands of the arena. He is nameless, a forgotten soul, the gladiator, forged in despair. The death of Emperor Marcus Aurelius shattered the ideal of a Rome free from tyranny, where the Senate and the people reigned supreme. In its place, a festering wound of corruption and chaos now thrives, glorified by the brutal spectacle of the gladiatorial combat in the Colosseum, where death is a mere form of entertainment. Amidst the clamor of the crowd, a seasoned gladiator master emerges, eyes gleaming with opportunity. He sees the raw potential within this lost soldier and offers a tantalizing promise: a fight for glory, win the crowd, and claim the chance to exact vengeance upon the man who obliterated his world. Yet, beneath this veil of mentorship lies a darker web of ambition. The master seeks not just a champion, but a means to enrich his own coffers. In the murky corners of power, the daughter of Marcus Aurelius weaves her own tale of rebellion, conspiring with steadfast politicians to dismantle the rampant corruption. She recognizes the true identity of the gladiator, sensing that together, armed with a name and a purpose, they can ignite a revolution. But lurking in the shadows are the eyes that see all, watching the clandestine maneuvers of those daring to challenge the status quo. As schemes unfold, whispers of treachery threaten to choke the budding hope, and the coup hangs by a thread. Yet, as the final clash between light and dark draws near, resolve hardens within the heart of the gladiator. He fights not just for survival, but for the legacy of a fallen emperor, a symbol of honor, justice, and hope. In this tumultuous climax, the tides of destiny shift, and with courage and ferocity, corruption teeters on the brink of defeat. Amidst the chaos, a legacy is carved into history, igniting the flickering flame of Marcus Aurelius's dream once more. Oh, wait. That's the plot of Gladiator 2. But also this one. Anyway, Maximus, Russell Crowe, is the general of the Roman Emperor.
You son of a bitch. You had me locked in, brother.
Maximus, Russell Crowe, is a general of the Roman Empire who has achieved numerous victories in service of Marcus Aurelius, Richard Harris. Knowing that he is nearing death, the emperor expresses his deep affection for Maximus, whom he regards as a son. He informs Maximus that he will name him his heir, destined to become the new ruler of Rome, trusting him to fulfill his dream of a better Rome. When Marcus informs his biological son, Commodus, Joaquin Phoenix, that he will not be the heir, Commodus, overwhelmed by grief and a sense of never truly being accepted by his father, kills him. With no one else aware of Marcus's intentions, Commodus becomes emperor, intending to rule Rome as an incestuous tyrant alongside his sister, Lucilla, Connie Nielsen. Maximus refuses to pledge his loyalty to the new emperor, who then orders for the execution of him and his family. Maximus manages to escape and races back in an attempt to save his loved ones, but he arrives too late and discovers that his family has been murdered and their home has been burned to the ground. Devastated, he buries his wife and son, collapsing at their graves. He is later picked up by slave traders. He's bought to become a gladiator by Proximo, Oliver Reed. During his training, he refuses to fight or even speak until he is thrown into the arena where he has no choice but to fight for his own life. Maximus fights with brutality like a soldier, not for entertainment, but because that is his only option. Proximo tells him that if he wins over the crowd, he will eventually have the chance to stand before the emperor and seek his revenge and his freedom. Meanwhile, Commodus is a freak and nobody likes him. Maximus becomes a fan favorite and a leader among his fellow gladiators, and after they are brought to the Colosseum to fight for the emperor. It's during these games that his true identity is revealed, surprising Commodus, who had believed Maximus to be dead. Determined to eliminate him, Commodus sets out to ensure Maximus dies in the arena. However, Maximus continues to triumph over every challenge he faces, defeating undefeated gladiators, chariots, and even tigers. Lucilla visits Maximus in an attempt to persuade him to help her and the senators regain control over Commodus. However, Maximus is bitter and refuses her request, telling her to leave and forget about him. As he learns more about the influence he can wield by winning over the mob, he begins to reconsider Lucilla's plan and ultimately agrees to meet her ally, Senator Gracchus, Derek Jacobi. Commodus learns of the conspirators' plans and arrests Gracchus and the others involved. He threatens Lucilla's son, Lucius, and prepares a final showdown in the arena with Maximus, pitting him against the emperor himself. Before the fight, Commodus stabs Maximus, but despite his injuries, Maximus emerges victorious, killing Commodus and seemingly restoring hope to Rome. He dies in the arena, returning to his family in the afterlife.
Recap! Replay!
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that really the plot of number 2?
Basically.
Is it like spot on the same?
It's like there's some slight differences, but it's basically, yeah.
Lame.
Yeah.
Lame. Alrighty, so I don't know how I feel about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's good stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Absolutely. There's good stuff. This feels a little Christopher Nolan.
Mm.
In that, like, the movie ended and it had moments like, I think I got emotional at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was done well at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I kept thinking about what happened in the movie, more and more, I'm very much like, what the hell was this film? And I just say that because, like, I say that because a lot of this movie moves. There are some portions of this movie that move really quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's some portions that move really slow.
Mm-hmm.
And there really isn't much in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a lot of stuff in this movie that I don't understand why it's there.
Uh-huh.
And that leads me to kind of doubt how I feel about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some of the acting is excellent.
Yeah.
I kind of think just getting like a variety of British accents not the most helpful.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to follow people as there's a lot of difference in how they spoke, but I think a lot of individuals had good performances.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
I think I've always wondered if you are from a different country and you see these movies where it's British accent representing foreign,
right,
but English,
right.
Like, do those other countries hear that and be like, yes, this makes sense? Like, these people are Italian,
does that suspend disbelief enough?
Yeah, or is that just something that we stupid Americans buy into?
I blame Star Wars.
Fair enough.
That's a good question, and I wonder too. I feel as though there is some suspension of disbelief in that idea because Rome was large encompassing. Like it was huge, so it would have had different dialects. It wouldn't have been just one dialect.
Mm-hmm.
But the default is that kind of British dialect, considering the fact that Russell Crowe grew up in Australia. Joaquin Phoenix is American.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Reed is British, but he's got his own kind of thing to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I thought Richard Harris sounded a lot like the first guy who played Dumbledore.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Harry Potter, you're a wizard. No, that's a little Dumbledore / Voldemort, but like he had that kind of quiet rasp to it.
Mm-hmm. You know why?
Why?
Because he was Dumbledore.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
What? Oh my gosh.
He sounds like Dumbledore because he is Dumbledore.
I'm a freaking idiot. No.
Exactly 1 year later, Dumbledore.
You know what's so funny? I missed it. I absolutely missed it. For whatever reason, from his like from some of his photos, they just have him much younger.
Yeah.
And so I just could not connect the dots. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah. He sounded like Dumbledore because he was in fact Dumbledore.
He was the first guy who was Dumbledore.
He sounded like Dumbledore and I sounded like a fucking idiot. I feel really stupid. But I appreciate you doing that as gently and somehow condescendingly as possible. It was smooth. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That guy sounded like Dumbledore. He is Dumbledore. I mean, he looks like him, but what do you mean? Oh man, that long hair in Harry Potter really makes him look very different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at a picture of him from Gladiator, and I'm like, you could kind of tell, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Really not really.
Really not really.
I'm an idiot. Anyway, what are your feelings overall?
Yeah, I see why this movie was
Lauded.
Received the way that it was. But I agree. There are some things that were like, in some ways it holds up better than you would expect. Just random. I'm comparing it to the sequel because it just came out like this year, and I watched it a couple months ago, and so it was interesting for me to go back and watch this one and compare them. The reason why I brought up the accent thing is because Denzel Washington is in the sequel, and he just talks with an American accent, and it feels so wrong.
It's so funny because to me that when I heard someone say it, and it was just Denzel playing Denzel, but can you blame him?
It was I don't know why, but when you hear an American accent in the middle of a bunch of British people, it's like that guy doesn't belong here.
Yeah, that's why Luke Skywalker sounded like such a dud.
Anyway, this one, there's some really interesting things about it. It feels longer than it should be, but there's also some elements of the storytelling. And again, this is comparing to the sequel. The storytelling, they do a lot better at building these characters.
In this one?
Oh,
okay.
So like we understand Maximus. We like get his plight. We understand what he's going through, and we are uncomfortable about Commodus in the way that we should be. There are other characters who I feel like are super underdeveloped and could have gotten more detail into them. But I don't know. There's something about this story that 25 years later doesn't feel like it doesn't connect in the same way that it did in 2000.
Interesting.
But it also holds up better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about some things. First, visually, there's a lot of really good shots of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of overzealous CGI in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And
it's funny because it has nothing to do with like characters. All the character stuff is very practical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it's not CGI. Maybe it's practical overlays. The tigers, the mixture of the footage between the fighters and the tigers, is really good.
Yeah,
it's excellent.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with my brother the other day. He's like, he commented of like, I'm not sure how I would feel about seeing that again today, and I was like, actually, that holds up. Like that looks pretty good.
And arguably too, I didn't look at the behind the scenes, but I do think that a lot of the Colosseum internally is CGI, which that is not distracting.
Mm-hmm.
That actually looks really good. The CGI when they do the establishing shots of Rome and all that, awful. They look bad. On top of that, a note on that as well is there's a couple sequences that are very heavily edited because they're trying to evoke, I don't know, heaven, the afterlife, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And those are weird.
Yeah, they're weird because of how they depict it. But then what the part that bothered me the most is that sometimes the following shot that was supposed to be the real world had the same filter. Like they didn't transition it well. And so all of a sudden it's like, wait, are we still in?
Which makes me wonder if that's a Ridley Scott issue or if that's a editor issue.
Mm-hmm.
Color grading, whatever it might be. Because there was not you're right. The transitions weren't good, but then also where they are in the story doesn't always make sense.
Mm-hmm.
In that, what is the story telling you?
Mm-hmm.
And by way of how they did it, sometimes it made it feel as though, like he was always going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that is helpful for the story and the arc.
Yeah.
I think we need to believe that he's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to kind of have that feeling of he's gonna do more. But there was always kind of a weird feeling because they kept showing this scene that they were trying to depict as the afterlife, or they were trying to subtly be like, oh, this is a memory, not the afterlife. But it always kind of felt like the afterlife.
Yes.
To me. And so the first time we see it was almost right out of the bat when he's taking a moment, which his wife and his kid, I think, were featured within those moments before they had died.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like heavy foreshadowing to the point where it felt like, well, these two gotta die.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it's interesting because I mean, specifically, we're talking about like his hands going through the grain,
yeah,
and like that kind of thing. And the first time we see that, it has normal color grading. The second time we see it, it's
I don't think the first
color.
time is normal. I think it is stylized.
Is it? Yeah. That's
why I was saying it, because even from the first go, it was either a memory or it is
right
moving on to the afterlife.
It's kind of because the fact that they use the same shot for the afterlife definitely makes that a little more confusing of if that is like, is that a memory and then I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, and it's colored differently than the other time that we see it, but it's still the same shot, the same things that we're seeing.
Yeah. But yeah, those kind of go throughout, and so, you know, I guess I just don't fully understand exactly what we're supposed to understand throughout the film. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it happens a lot. And he goes, so is he that spiritual? Is he connected to the gods? Is he, does he actually see this, or is this just a artistic flair from the director? It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of clarity for what we, the audience, are supposed to interpret from it.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that there has to be, but it just became distracting at some point.
Right.
Along with some of the other shots, like when we think he's dying or dead, and then there's the shot of him on like a rolling platform. So the back of him, which is like a cool shot, but it's also like, this guy's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, he's not.
Him floating above the ground kind of thing. Yeah.
Which then at that point it was like, yeah, but no, that shot can't work.
Yeah.
They're just having his head hanging off the side,
mm-hmm.
perfectly flat, as though it's on a platform.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I'm getting too in the weeds for that that particular thing.
Yeah,
I just remember it looking kind of good, and then the more I was thinking about it, the more I'm like, wait, does that work for that shot? I think it works for the last one.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they use it, I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if you needed to use it both times.
Yeah, because it's giving the idea of like maybe he's entering the afterlife, but then he's not, and so he's kind of in this in between stage. I
think that would have been great fully toward the end, but it being shown so much kind of takes some of the weight off of it. Because every moment could be like, well, maybe he's going to be fine. And so it takes a little more to convince you otherwise.
I think if we didn't see him getting grabbed by, like, when he collapsed at the graves of his family.
Right.
If we didn't see him get grabbed and it just went from him being collapsed and then the next shot that we saw was him floating, then that gives us a little bit more of a like, oh, like, what's happening right now?
Right.
But because we see him get grabbed, we're like, we know that he's not dead. And then it just becomes this weird thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the afterlife shots, some of the time passing, like stylistically, visually, I guess they're kind of interesting, but also at the same time, it's like, I don't know if we needed them. I don't know if they actually make the experience of the movie better. Because again, the movie is 2.5 hours long. So it's a long movie to get through. And I would say 10 minutes is, establishing shot and big CGI shots.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, did we need that 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think that initial shot of Rome. Like,
yeah,
it was,
I think the first one was, whether it was bad or not, it worked for giving us the establishment of the city.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you look at the still, it looks really bad.
Yeah.
But
and it looked just that bad in the movie, honestly.
Yeah. But there's some things that you notice more of, like when it's still, you're like, oh, that is very much just placed on top of another image that's placed on top of another image.
Oh, so stacked imaging.
Yeah, but when it's
sorry, I said that like that's a thing. I just said that.
But when it is moving, you don't notice that stuff as much. But there is still, like, it doesn't look great, but that one looks okay. And then when you get to other shots of them like standing on the balcony and looking into the city, like,
yeah, there were a couple horrible, rough ones.
And like oversaturated and all of that.
I think there was one with Joaquin Phoenix that was especially atrocious.
Oh, near the end of the movie.
Yeah, where it was just unnecessary.
And he turns around and it's like super brightly saturated behind him and looks really bad. And then he walks back into the building and you can see the green of the green screen cross his face. But there are also some moments that I thought were really interesting. And as I am making this transition, my brain just completely forgot them. So give me a second to try to remember those.
What were they about?
That had to do with the visuals. Oh, here we go. We're back on track. There is some interesting color grading that tells, or like not just color grading, but there's some color storytelling within the movie that is really interesting. When we first get to Rome, and it's Commodus coming back as the new emperor, everything is gray.
Yeah.
And like his color, like everything that he wears is black and white. And as things progress, when we first meet the senators, they have white robes, but they have red, I think, on them. And then in the next scene that we see them after he's taken over, they're white and black, just like his outfits. Right. And then you have his sister, Lucilla, who's always wearing bright colors. She's got bright oranges and bright golds, and she's like standing out. So she's standing opposed to this black and white feature that is her brother.
Yeah.
So every time we're seeing him or scenes that are more Rome and politics focused, it's the contrast of the black and white and then his sister who brings the color in. And then every time we're looking at Maximus or the arenas, there's not a lot of color, but there's just more color. It's a warmer tone. It's interesting because it's not a comfortable place to be in. There, like, people are killing each other, but it is something that's more inviting to be a part of what's happening, rather than with Commodus, where you're supposed to feel that darkness and like his eyes get more sunk in, and like the darker under his eyes and everything. It was a really interesting way to use color to tell the story.
Right. Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah.
Before we get into characters and then within that plot, let's talk about the music.
Yes.
Overall good. It's Hans Zimmer, so it's good.
Mm-hmm. There's
just some things I got to point out.
You mean the Pirates of the Caribbean of it all?
No. I'm not even there yet, buddy.
Because that's part of it.
So I'm going to play this track. It stood out to me immediately. Well, I'm going to back it up a little so it gets the first note. So, a little ominous.
Mm-hmm.
I know that is a very like famous Arab style.
Mm-hmm.
But that felt like it was like right on the money. Because if you slow it down, it feels the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're talking about, it is right. I actually like did homework. But I don't think you realize how much of it is the same.
Yeah.
It's almost the whole little piece.
Uh-huh.
This is just faster.
Uh-huh. And the notes go to slightly different directions sometimes.
It repeats, and then it has the...
This part happens.
Yeah.
In Gladiator.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't realize, we did switch.
Yeah. And here comes what feels like the most egregious. As far as they're probably different keys. I didn't check that. They're probably in different keys. But as far as like chord structure within the scale, that bump, 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 those are like identical.
Yeah.
As far as progression goes. Yeah, it's a little on the nose.
The part that you played, like very much so, and then there's two scenes, maybe 3 scenes where it happens, where there's another part that is like exactly that thing.
There's a Pirates of the Caribbean one that goes like dun 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 dun, and there's lots of that within the battle music. It's not exactly, but you could tell like, oh, there's a relationship here.
And I think you and I have talked about this offline before.
Yeah.
But Hans Zimmer did not do Pirates of the Caribbean.
Especially not the first one.
Not the first one. He did all the other ones,
right,
but he didn't do the first one. But the guy who did studied under Hans Zimmer, I believe. And so it's like,
but this makes everything more egregious, I think. Simply because Pirates of the Caribbean 2003? Is that when that came out?
Yeah, 2003.
And I guess I've never seen Gladiator, so hearing that, going, that is at some points verbatim. He absolutely took from Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
So I guess it does make sense that Hans Zimmer did like 3 and 4 or whatever it was. 4 and 5, whichever ones he ended up doing. Oh no, he ended up doing like every other one. Because he didn't have the IMDb credit on the second one, but I think he did do the second one.
Yeah, he did do the second one. I think he did the second one and the third one for sure.
Yeah. It's just it's just an interesting thing. It's just an interesting thing. Nothing against Klaus Badell or Hans Zimmer. I think they're both good in their own way. Like the idea that they're used, it just felt kind of on the nose at some points. But overall, Hans and it's gonna play something. Sorry, and Lisa Gerard. I think they did a really good job overall. I do like the variety in the tunes. The use of the female voice was really, I think, impactful. I just think maybe it's a Ridley Scott decision. There's some times where the music did not fit. Oh, another visual thing that I want to talk about. This movie has so much stupid slow motion.
Oh, horrible slow motion.
So much stupid, unnecessary, but also bad looking slow motion.
Yeah.
Like they didn't film it in the right frame rate.
Yeah. I was going to say that they definitely did not film at a frame rate that is meant for slow motion. And then in the end, they were like, let's just stretch it out a little bit more and get that but it just looks so choppy and so bad.
And it maybe that's a good way of thinking, like how you're describing the possibility of the process, in that they saw it and then they wanted to stretch it out, like you said, because all of it felt very, not secondary, but very in post.
Yeah, it did not feel.
It was not intentional or purposeful, to the point where it was not only distracting, but kind of didn't make the scene make sense.
No.
And the first egregious one is in the beginning of the film. So in the beginning of the film, Maximus is a general.
Yes.
And he is leading an army, and everyone thinks he's hot. They like him. And he goes into battle, and then it's really intense music, and there's blood, and there's gush, and there's yuck, and I think he gets hurt a little bit, or at least some of the people that he was pals with got hurt. And then halfway through it feels like halfway through the battle, it goes into slow motion, and it is the weirdest music behind it.
Yeah, the music changes.
The music changes, and it makes no sense for the scene because they have not won. No one is having a moment of reverence for the moment. No one is mourning. No one is joyful or thoughtful in the moment. It is still fully within the battle.
Yeah, and the tone of the song that starts playing, or the music that starts playing in the background is very like somebody should be regretting what's happening right now.
Right. Absolutely.
But we're not getting the visual of that.
Yeah. I think this is it. This is called The Battle, which is not the one we just listened to. So it's like, oh fuck, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
So there's a battle going on. Lots of fighting, lots of blood. And let's see if this is the one that transitions into it. Yeah. Oh my God. So the battle is still going on. And now there's slow motion, and slow motion into death. And this is what's being played. Honestly, in the slow motion, based off Russell Crowe's acting and some of the other people's acting, it feels like they might lose. And then this is what's playing over it.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of being taken aback from the moment and not understanding what was happening.
Yeah, it's a weird transition that from the story perspective does not make sense.
Yeah. That music is beautiful. It just doesn't make sense. What it should have been was screw the slow motion as far as up to that point. Once the battle's done, then you can have the slow motion of Maximus finding the people that survived and having that music playing over it. And that probably would have made 1,000% sense. But this was mid-battle.
Yeah.
And that's why it bothers me so much. It was mid-battle. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, it's super weird. I think the worst... I think like all the slow motion that was happening during that was just like, this is bad and not good. The part that like totally took me out of how bad the slow motion is when Commodus exits the like we're introduced to him and Lucilla, and they're in the like armored wagon thing.
Right.
And he steps out of it, and somebody
Did they do
reaches
slow
over
motion
and grabs the cape off of his shoulders, and it's just a moment of taking the cape off of his shoulders in slow motion.
Oh, I missed it.
That's so bad.
That's stupid.
It's stupid. It doesn't need to be there. And it feels like they were like, hey, we just need to like hold this shot for 5 more frames.
Yeah.
And so they just slowed it down, and it looks so bad.
It's when it's the issue, and I guess it is a director's issue, when you try to add or impact emotion through an editing technique rather than the story or the acting. I think editing is what brings those things together, but it has to come from one of those things. It has to come from the story, and it has to come from the acting. And the editing can help express those, but it can't do it on its own. I think maybe we could have a talk about that some other time. But I think in this moment, I'm willing to say acting, story, that is what begets emotion. Editing, it helps feature those things.
Mm-hmm.
And when you try to edit in a way to add more meaning or emotion to something, it can kind of take away from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's not to say like, because like color could tell a lot of story, like you were saying. There's lots of things you can do within the moment. I guess I'm speaking specifically for post editing, to where it wasn't your intention to begin with, but you see it in the end and you're like, it's missing something. So you do something editing wise to try to manipulate that.
Yeah.
And that's what that moment would feel like.
Yeah. There are a lot of moments, especially I've noticed it in the early 2000s movies, where this type of thing happens, where it's like, hey, we just want to hold on this moment before action takes place again. But they didn't catch that in the filming process, in the production process.
Right.
They didn't catch it. And then so they're in post and they're like, oh, we just want to hold on that for 5 more frames. And where that works is when you have the end of a shot and you add those 5 more frames that were filmed, that exist,
right,
that are like, you don't have to change them. You're just including them. In this one, it is hey, we need to create 5 more frames that don't exist. So let's slow down this shot and make it this weird, like it's very obvious that it's slow motion.
Right.
And maybe it's not because you missed it, but like
I may have just looked away in that moment. I'm sure I'll get flack for this. There were some of this movie that was very boring.
Oh yeah. Very.
And his introduction and everything was kind of creepy, but also it was kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
The more we got into the movie with his character, the more interesting he got.
Mm-hmm.
But the initial was kind of odd.
Yeah.
Anything else? Movie or music, or we went back to visuals, but visual wise, it might come up in a bit. But anything?
No.
Okay. Maximus, Russell Crowe. He did good, fine. He did fine. He was very stoic. Here's the thing I will say. This movie spent a lot of time on those visual things that we had talked about, and almost no time showing us why anyone gives a shit about him. So like, he is respected and honored with his soldiers, and we are kind of given that through assumption, exposition, that kind of thing. Everyone just already does it. So we assume he's great. Then we get Marcus Aurelius saying he's an honorable man, giving him the mantle of Caesar, telling the audience this is a good man. Then he has all of it taken away and really does nothing from that point on that earns him that mantle. Like the prison, he has one battle where he's just a gladiator and he kills everyone that he's supposed to kill. And then some time passes by and we assume he's doing good at that. And then everyone just likes him. And I think that was, I feel as though that's a cheat. We need to see why he's better than Commodus. But they don't ever actually show it.
Yeah, there's a lot of the telling, and like even with Lucilla, like we know that she likes him.
Yeah, but why?
But just because he tells
seems
us.
like a dick to her.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like,
but I didn't think about that. But from the perspective of the other gladiators, he earns their respect. But like when
we don't see why.
When Juba,
It's
like he
spelled.
talks
It would
to
be.
him.
It would be spelled the same. Jubba is the one to me that has the most honorable speech and screen time.
Mm-hmm.
To where the things he says to Maximus makes me go, "This is a kind man.
Yeah,
this is a good man." Maximus doesn't have any of that dialogue.
Maximus doesn't respond to him. He doesn't talk until he does not say a word after becoming a gladiator until he kills all the guys and he says, "Are you not entertained?" That's the first word he says as a gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really interesting, but also like this is supposed to be us him connecting with these people in some way. So they only earn his respect, or he only earns their respect through being a good gladiator, but we don't see him interacting with these people in the same way that he was interacting with his soldiers. And it was just a brief moment, but we see him walking around the camp and like checking in on people,
right,
and like patting them on the back and like eating the soup or whatever it was. But we do see a few moments of how he interacts with his soldiers.
Right.
But we don't see that again later. So like, how does he truly earn the respect of these people?
Guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a lot of exposition and a lot of, hey, this guy's great.
And then
isn't this guy great?
He says that he was a general, and then all of a sudden everybody's just like, all right, we're on board with you as the general, and they start calling him general and treating him that way.
Well, and even further that everyone assumes he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one's like talking about him. No one's trying to figure that out. No one is investigating, except for maybe his assistant Cicero. Maybe Cicero, but Cicero's kind of like a kid, I guess. So I don't know. It just, we have this thing of this guy who just wants to go back to his farm to be with his wife and his kid, which that is fine. But he is at a constant state of pushing against the greater picture that he is essentially called to do. Marcus believes he is the one to lead. He leads the army to greatness. And then at every step, he is actively going against it. And I know the idea of his family died, but also, I don't know, fuck him. This guy, honor and whatever the other thing. Like, how does he honor his family?
Strength and honor. How does he show strength or honor his family in this? All the ways that he is fighting against it. But then we're supposed to believe he's like buddies and a good general with all the gladiators at some point, even though he's pushing back against it. His motivation, his morals, they just feel at odds with each other throughout this movie. And that's why I have some issue with this, is he's not showing like growth. He's a constant. Yeah.
He is a well-respected and loved general who just wants to go home, is betrayed, his family dies, absolutely, and then he completely turns his back on all of that And then by the end of it, when he finally kills Commodus and then dies himself, he tells him like, "This is the will of Marcus Aurelius."
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't fighting for that.
Mm-mm.
Why would that be the thing he says?
Yeah. The end of this movie really makes it seem like he is all of a sudden on board with Marcus Aurelius's dream.
Right.
But he's not really.
No, he's not. And that's why I'm so bothered by it. Maybe I'm making
just wants his revenge.
Yeah.
And he still just wants to kill Commodus. Like that's all that he wants.
Right. And then he gets it, and then he's like, I have avenged my family. It's hey, make Rome Marcus's dream.
Yeah, his turn to all of a sudden be like, I will meet with the politicians doesn't make sense. Because his only, like, the thing that happens is, I guess, one, he interacts with Commodus, and like that happens. But then it's really, he just talks to Cicero, and Cicero's like, hey, your people, like your men will still follow you. And then he's like, great.
Why wasn't he fighting for that?
Mm-hmm.
He never was fighting for that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. A lot of his motivation is either rushed. I don't know if this is I'm redundant, but just thrusted upon him.
Mm-hmm.
And we as the audience are immediately supposed to say, like, totally.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as character development and character arc, it doesn't necessarily make sense.
No.
It could if it like if they changed a few things, adjusted a few things, but as far as the story they gave us, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe someone can convince me otherwise, but I just, from watching this movie, his motivation, his last words, his actual last living words don't really make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Commodus, I guess we'll use this as a slight transition. His death, lame. Dumb. We just spent this whole movie hating this guy, and he almost got a merciful death.
Mm-hmm.
It was lame.
Yeah, it was.
You know why it was lame? It was lame because it was lame.
Mm-hmm.
Just the choreography, everything. We just spent all these goddamn 2 hours, and then it's like a punch and a kick and a swipe and a punch and a kick and a looking into heaven and a punch and a kick and looking into heaven and then a stab in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Lame. Especially because they set up Commodus to be like a fighter of sorts. Mm-hmm. Competent at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got to the fight, he didn't know what to do. Now, who was his assist? Who was his like guard? Gaius? No, that was a senator.
Gaius. No, it was Quintus.
Quintus. So, at the end of the movie, Commodus loses his sword to Maximus.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls Quintus to give him a sword.
Mm-hmm.
And Quintus denies him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Commodus asks any of the soldiers surrounding him for a sword. Quintus prevents them from doing so. None of that made sense.
No.
There is not a single point where Quintus feels, or at least nothing that is apparent.
Yeah, we never see the moment where Quintus is like, I've betrayed
Marcus.
Marcus.
He never has
or
regret.
Maximus.
No, Not
Or
even
both of
that.
them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't hear the conversation between Commodus and Marcus, but he saw the interaction between Commodus and Maximus right after the death of Marcus Aurelius. And so he was witness to it. And if you were witness to that, you would immediately be like, this guy's wacky. And did not defend, but stood by the side of Commodus, defending the idea of the emperor rules. He never meets with anyone else. It's never shown that he is the ace in Lucia's hand. He's never part of the plan. And so for him to suddenly get an itch in his ass to say, no, I'm not going to defend this guy, I'm going to let this guy die, doesn't make any sense.
No.
From the story we're told. Maybe they filmed some story aspect that is not in this movie that connects those dots, but from the finished product we got, though, they went from A to G. Like they skipped all the letters in between.
Yeah. And they could have done something as simple as like the rules of the Colosseum are you work with what you have.
Right.
Like if there was something like that, and then he said, give me your weapon, and then he just said, like, if he does a callback to something that that Caesar says, and he just says, like, you know the rules or something.
Yeah, that could have been fine, and that could have been done easily, several times.
But it just feels like he all of a sudden turns and is on Maximus's side.
There's no connection to it.
Yeah.
None. It feels, man, they could have even had something where he's talking to Lucia and was just kind of like, you know, don't tell Commodus, but I do have regret for what I've done to Maximus or Marcus, or I loved your father and I wish I could honor him more. Something where it shows regret. But based off what we've seen, I don't know why he did that.
All of a sudden it's like,
yeah. And Commodus wasn't necessarily even like weird to him, unless I missed it. I don't remember a scene where he maybe threatened Quintus, which that could have been motivation to change sides if he felt threatened.
Yeah, but
he was seeing through everything. I think he was the one who helped out and killed Cicero. And all that stuff. Like, he was as much a part of everything as Commodus, but
he was the hand of Commodus,
right? So Commodus's death doesn't make sense with the package we got. With that said, Joaquin Phoenix, great job, plays a creep really well. He is gross, and I hate him. And
it's crazy that he was only nominated and didn't win an Oscar, but Russell Crowe did.
I know, and Joaquin did a whole lot more acting.
He did so much more. Yeah,
he was awful. I hated him. And I guess that's the point. Yeah. So I don't knock him for it. He did what he was supposed to do. I just hated it.
Yeah, no, he did a really good job at being this horrible person
and being a weak man. He was excellent at projecting that, where, you know, his killing of Marcus is very just awful. But then when he goes back to Rome in the first Gladiator fight One, politically, he's just putting on these fights to distract people. Sounds familiar. But then he's also so awkward when he's watching the first one, you know? And then you can see him get a little more confidence because no one's pushing back. Except for Maximus. And even Maximus isn't like... I think he's pushing back in a way that Commodus is almost inviting it. He's not trying to, but his actions lead to that. And I think that Maximus, fighting against him, defying him, and then Maximus still being the love of the city, drives Commodus mad. Like, I think he goes mad. I think he goes insane.
Yeah.
He has a mental breakdown.
That is one of the really interesting things, is that you see there is a fun contrast that happens when we first see him entering Rome. The crowd is booing and yelling at him and saying, "We don't want you, like, you're horrible," basically. Like, nobody is actually accepting him as emperor. And it's like dark and gloomy, but he is decked out in all of his royal armaments and everything. And then we have the scene where and the music I think is really dark and kind of is like in a minor that's happening there when the gladiators are coming into Rome in their dinky slave wagon. Right. The music is excited. There are people who are like, I think maybe, I don't remember if people are cheering for him as they're going through, but there's like this.
They're cheering for the gladiator, and then, like, I guess they're trying to show it. There is a woman who literally throws herself upon him.
Oh yeah, that scene as well. Yeah. So there are multiple moments where his entrance into Rome is something that is like, people are excited for him, and then they find out that he's Maximus, and now everybody is excited about him, and it's the contrast of Commodus, where he came back and everybody hated him,
and it's technically Commodus's fault too. If he had not been so zealous to meet the gladiator, and none of this would have happened. Maximus may have just died in obscurity. But because he was so desperate to make himself one of the people, maybe, he literally opened the door to his own demise.
Yeah.
Or opened the gate, I guess you could say. But Joaquin Phoenix did quite good. Commodus, very complicated character. I think his motivation makes the most sense. I just think the way he like becomes emperor is a little suspect. The fact that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but they were just intense. They were not in buildings, they were in tents. I cannot imagine that no one heard anything.
Any of that happened. Yeah.
Any of that. Also, they did something that was quite interesting. Marcus was writing something prior to his death, and I almost thought it would have been, hey, this is my plan. And the fact that he never wrote it down
is crazy.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, he should have been like, hey, Maximus, you're going to be Caesar. And then write it down.
Right.
And then bring in
it should have been a decree.
Yeah. And then Commodus comes in and he's like, hey, Commodus, you're not going to be it. And then.
Because what you could have done in that moment was the senators could have found it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did the battle with Maximus, that is when they have revealed this, and they've revealed it to the guards. So the guards cannot act in way of like government input into the matter or something. I don't know, but it's crazy that he wouldn't have written it down at all.
Yeah.
Especially because he thought he was dying.
Mm-hmm.
It really felt as though he thought he was going to die of natural causes very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that he wouldn't have written his plan down in case he did die, bonkers.
Yeah.
For a guy who seems so wise and seems to be educated.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Speaking of which, I feel like we needed Lucilla to know.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fact that she didn't know, and her only like motivation for seeking out Maximus's help is really just my father loved you and I loved you.
That's wild. It doesn't I hate it because she is a bold, strong woman and a damsel in distress all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they couldn't figure out how to make her own person.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, they make a point of saying she is doing this out of fear for her son because she knows Commodus is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is fine. That is totally fine. But the fact that they made her a damsel while trying to plan all this out feels not just weird, but it seemed as though Marcus had believed she was the tactical, smart, intelligent child, and Commodus was not. But I don't really think she ever utilizes that.
Mm-mm.
She always goes to other people.
Mm-hmm.
She's not the one marking the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Though she should have been.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been, they needed to show that more to bring that out in her. Because then it's not just that Commodus is jealous of Maximus, but he's also jealous of Lucia, and his infatuation with her is to mask his jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Not just he wants to rape his sister, which gross, like that makes him gross.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they would have used that incestuous thing as like a coping mechanism with the fact that he is beneath her,
he feels inadequate to her.
Yeah. I think that would have been stellar. It would have made him that much more crazy, and it would have made her that much more competent and exactly what her father saw in her.
Mm-hmm.
But at every route, she's just going back to Maximus going like, you were my true love kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't do anything because Maximus doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Did they kiss at one point?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
I think they did kiss at one point, and even at that moment, I was like, why is he fucking doing this?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. He's not moving on.
Mm-hmm.
This whole movie is building him not to move on. Why are you having this moment?
I read something. I can't remember if they actually kiss or not. I remember there was something that said that
I am going to find it because
the writers were like wanted to do more with that character, but then they're like, but if we add any more, then it takes away from the fact that he is longing for his wife and son. And so if we add a romance here, it doesn't make sense. And so like their relationship is weird because she's in love with him still.
Yeah, like fully.
But he
couldn't care less.
Has no interest in her.
Which, good. Like, that makes sense for the story. Mm-hmm. Her desire to, like, be his... her being a jilted lover just doesn't... I don't know. It doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, especially because they moved on. They both had their own families. They had children.
Which I feel like it would have been a bigger deal that nobody made, that the daughter of the emperor has a son, but there is no husband in the picture. I feel like that's something that's like, hey, we need to hide Lucius away because...
No, I think more so for that perspective is that should have been her plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have brought more tension into Commodus and her, which they eventually got there, but they said it in like passing.
Mm-hmm.
Lucius was the heir.
Mm-hmm.
So get Commodus out of the way, he will lead.
Mm-hmm.
And by default, she would lead.
Mm-hmm.
But that should have been another risk. Not only am I inadequate to Sia, she is banking on my demise because then her son would be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that should have been a major plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Not even an ounce of thought, because he was looking at it from the perspective of I'm going to be this kid's daddy. And then I'm going to make another baby, and that baby is going to be a true blood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might have massive birth defects, but he's going to be a true blood.
Yeah, Lucius is an interesting character because he doesn't bring anything other than being a fan of Maximus.
He
disarms Maximus because like Maximus is like ready to kill Commodus on their first interaction in the arena, but because he's there,
it's censored. Oh, it doesn't like this at all.
Oh, they do kiss.
Yeah. I remember when that happened, and my first thought was, no. No, like,
why are we doing this?
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Yeah, so Lucius, there's a couple things that are weird about him. I think his addition is important at some points in the story.
Yes.
But his interaction with Maximus is super weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, like, Maximus never met that kid.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do? Like, what? Where does that? What feelings are being developed within him in that moment? Like, it just doesn't. I don't know if it really connects. Like, I don't know if it does anything. And then two, I think the scene where Commodus is with him telling the stories, I think that is a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
We need him to put leverage over Lucia.
Yeah.
That is fine. That is good. Some of the other stuff they do with him, completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
I do think him kind of being infatuated with the gladiator as making him a hero character is a great plot device in that it causes Commodus to go deeper into madness, because even his nephew, who before this was probably seen as an innocent bystander, now loves Maximus more than him. Great. That is good. That is good. Everything before, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that his dad's dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of the things that they didn't want to explain, they were like, he's dead. He's fine.
Hey, he doesn't have a father. He's immaculate.
Yeah. But I thought Connie Nielsen did well. I don't like the positions they put her character in with the damsel in distress stuff, but I do think she did have that moment where she was like, I do this because I fear for my son's life with my brother. You know, I fear my brother for the sake of my son. But I don't know. I don't like everything else sometimes. I thought she did great. Proximo, Oliver Reed. I really like his voice. I had no idea who Oliver Reed was. I didn't even know he was in this movie. And except for I had seen this clip just probably 2 weeks ago. And it is Bill Hader on a podcast with Paul Giamatti. You know, I bring the relevant stuff, you know? And he's talking about Oliver Reed, and it made me laugh so hard. So when I was watching this movie, I was just going back and forward with that and really having trouble focusing in. Here's the clip.
Do you guys know who Oliver Reed was? He was this amazing actor.
Amazing actor.
Yeah. Great. There's a great clip of him talking about the difference between acting on film and acting in the theater.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
And he's on Parkinson's or something, and he goes, when you act in the theater, if your arm is hurt and someone grabs your arm, you go, ah! He goes, but you must downplay it in film. You must be more subtle. So if someone grabs your arm and it's hurt, you go, mm.
Wait, hold on.
And I've been searching for this. I was crying, laughing. He just goes, I was like, dude, no.
I want to hang out with Bill Hader so bad. But two, seeing that clip, I had to go find what he was talking about. And I couldn't. I watched so many interviews, and then through that, I discovered that Oliver Reed is a weird guy, and he's a drunk. And I say that with the utmost respect, but and so the last scene of him, I think they kind of rushed through it when he was killed, but it was a body double. One, because he probably wasn't going to film that. But then two, he died while they were filming. And the legend has it that he died because the prior night he had challenged some young sailors, I believe, to a drinking competition. And he ended up drinking so much alcohol, and his body gave up on him. Now,
I was
read through it,
reading the list,
so he was quite the drinker, but I also think his acting was really good in this movie. I thought his character was kind of what was necessary in that moment. This character who has given up his morals and what led to his freedom to then go back to that place.
Mm-hmm.
He had the most character development out of everyone, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And he was played really well by Oliver Reed. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Oliver Reed. He could have been a piece of shit human. I don't know. But in this movie, I did enjoy him. And if he was, in fact, a terrible person, then I probably won't enjoy him as much. But I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie. Anything about Proximo or
No, I remember watching it and just being like curious about the character of like, why would he go back to doing gladiator stuff if he got his freedom? But then it's like his motivation is to make money.
Yeah.
Like that's all he's there for.
He was a gladiator for like 20 years.
Is that what he said?
He said it was a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went back to what he knew.
It's the only thing that he knew because he didn't have family anymore. But
yeah. Speed round. Richard Harris, Dumbledore as Marcus Aurelius. Short-lived in the movie. Well acted. It felt believable for everything.
Yeah, my only thing about Marcus Aurelius is like, how is it that he was playing the role of the emperor the way that he was, and it wasn't until his deathbed that he was like, hey, maybe we should do things different.
Maybe we should do things different. You got to get that Dumbledore rasp in there when you're doing it too. That's the biggest plot hole, I think, of the whole film, is the idea that Marcus wouldn't have put contingencies in place.
Yeah,
the idea that he wouldn't have told his right-hand man of his plan, and basically was like, hey, if something happens to me and someone says otherwise, this is not what I wanted. This is what I want.
Right. Yeah.
The idea that he didn't think Commodus was capable of doing something heinous is really naive. Now, he could have been that naive, but I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot of disbelief there.
If you lived your life as a Caesar, you should know that someone's bound to betray you.
Someone's about to Caesar you. Beware the Ides of March wasn't Alexander the Great thing. Gracchus, Derek Jacobi. I'm gonna say this: he was unlikable. So for him to be the knight in shining armor for the Senate and stuff was a hard pill to swallow. I didn't like him at all. He felt like a piece of shit. I just couldn't care less. He felt like all the things that Commodus was afraid of. If they wanted to make him what he is, he should have been someone who was of the people, but said like, I want to build a Rome that is for you. But he couldn't care less about the people. He even makes a point of saying it. He's like, I'm not a man of the people. I'm a senator or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget the exact line, but like there was a point where he makes a distinction that he is not a man of the people. And if the idea is that the people are garish, violent, whatevers, okay, prove us otherwise in the story to make this guy not seem like a piece of crap.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird to have him. And maybe that was the point, is that there's like, oh, this is her ally, is the guy that we think that we can't trust.
Right.
But it just, I don't know. At no point does he feel like there's even a reveal of like, oh, he says this in front of everybody, but he's actually this. Like, we don't get that.
No. Juba, it kind of feels like the token black guy, token wise, magical black guy.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks for him. Like, he was really kind and really lovely. I thought we should have more of him and his positivity and his willingness to kind of see through. And, you know, it would have made his last lines of I will see you again, but not too soon. I think it would have made it more meaningful if there was more of him and not just acting as the words of wisdom or the voice of reason to Maximus.
Mm-hmm.
Did Djimon Hounsou? I don't know why that D is throwing me off this time around. I feel like I've said it before correctly. He was great. He's a great actor. I really like him. I just don't like that his character was relegated to magical token black guy.
Yeah. And it's weird that his character was the character to vocalize us learning anything about Maximus.
Yeah.
Like, what are Maximus's beliefs? Well, let's have Juba be the one to be like, do they talk to you?
Right.
What do they say?
Right.
Or like,
or
what do you say to
they
them?
want to have exposition, but for whatever reason they have to put a character in there that has to pry the exposition out, which is stupid. You're writing the movie. You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, and it's fine if that's like a scene, but the fact that that's every interaction with him.
And they could have brought it out through conversation. But Maximus is so stoic and doesn't talk that like he has to pry it out. Falco, he was the senator that was pro emperor. He seemed like a piece of crap. Did his job. Hated him. Gaius couldn't care less. He was the other senator, I believe.
Yeah.
Did they kill him?
I don't remember, man.
The only reason I say that is because I feel like I remember them killing one of them, but not the other, and I don't know why they did that. Some of the like killing moves in this movie, as far as what Commodus demands, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in the grand scope of it.
We talked about Quintus.
Yes.
Hagen was the big muscle man.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was. They really fucked up on his practical effects when he died because you could see the board through his clothes. So when Hagen's character dies, he gets shot by some arrows. I think stabbed too. And he's wearing just like a cloth outfit, like a very thin cloth outfit, and you can see the wood panels that they use to attach everything because he is a very muscly man. So for his body to just turn flat all of a sudden, it's very noticeable. That's the other thing about this movie. Like I think that it got awards for visuals and stuff like that, and then it has some pretty like crazy things that got left in, or that that they were like, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's crazy that this movie won an Oscar for visuals and editing.
Which those are the two things that I think are the worst part of this movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things in this movie, absolutely, but there's a lot of bad, and it won things, even though it maybe it shouldn't.
I guess it was nominated for film editing, but it won best effects.
Yeah,
but still, just like what?
Alrighty. That leads us into our next thing. Just because we did speed round, I don't really care about the other characters, but I wanted to talk about it. It won Best Picture, and really now looking at it now, I don't think it should have. I don't know what led it to that, but Best Picture noms were Gladiator, Chocolat, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Aaron Brockovich, and Traffic. I don't remember what Traffic was. Oh, what the hell is Traffic? Jesus. There's Michael Douglas, Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, Dennis Quaid, and Catherine Zeta-Jones. I do not remember this movie. Directed by Steven Soderbergh. And I don't... What's... he did Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
And the Magic Mike trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oceans trilogy. That's where I know him from.
Wait, he directed Traffic?
Yeah.
Steven Soderbergh?
Yeah.
Because he also directed Aaron Brockovich, which was also nominated that year.
Oh. Weird. Oh. You're right. It's right here. Mm-hmm. But he won for Traffic. Interesting. I don't know where I stand on all of that. I do think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is kind of a to use terms, maybe appropriation. A lotus in a giant pond. It was kind of its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because it was Chinese, it just didn't land. Even though I think it was a great success. Like, I think it was a huge success in America. I remember it being a huge success.
It won Best Foreign Language Film.
Yeah. But I think it should have made... Well, it had a $17 million budget, and it made $215 million. In the U.S.
Interesting.
So how much did it make worldwide? Jeez Louise. Oh, it says 213 worldwide. What? No, this has different numbers. The Wikipedia is stupid. Stupid. It's giving me like different numbers. I don't know how to spell crouching. Oh. Crotch.
Yeah. Crotching.
Let's see.
We've got...
Holy hell. Oh, never mind. I read that wrong. Yeah, $214 million, which is great. I know we're off topic. Have you ever seen any of those other ones?
No.
We are so worldly. Let's see. Who else was there? Russell Crowe, Javier Bardem, Tom Hanks in Castaway, Ed Harris in Pollock, and Jeffrey Rush. I mean, that's a pretty good group of people. I feel like maybe at least three of them did a better performance than Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
Not Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks just played Tom Hanks on an island.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the theory that Tom Hanks just wants to pee on camera?
I think I've heard that, yeah.
This movie is one of them. Castaway, he pees on camera.
Uh-huh.
Not like pointed toward the camera, but they film him
yes.
peeing.
Urinating, yes.
Yes. Sorry. What was the other one other thing that they won? Visuals? Oh wait, it's here. I could just look for it.
Best sound.
Best sound. Gosh. Now I'm trying to think. How was the sound mixing? Let's see. They also have Castaway, The Patriot, The Perfect Storm, and U-571. Man, all of those are very sound-heavy films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Gladiator stood out, but I guess congrats to them. Like, it sounded good, all in all.
But it wasn't. In fact, there was some sound that was peaked. Like it was.
Oh,
there was a moment. I think in the first time they're in the Coliseum,
right? It peaks,
and he's shouting orders.
You're right.
All of that is blown out.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Huh.
And they won Best Sound.
This is a weird. And then Best Visual Effects, the Gladiator, Hollow Man, The Perfect Storm. That's it? Only 3?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Visual effects, The Perfect Storm made a whole fucking storm. I don't know. This is kind of just such an odd thing. Odd year, I guess. And with that, now we transition to the Review Rewind, where we take a look at a positive review, a negative review, and we see where we fall. Metacritic gave this film a 67. Rotten Tomato gave it an 80%. Rotten Tomato audience gave it an 87%. An IMDb audience gave it an 8.5. Tristan, can you read the positive?
Philadelphia Inquirer gave it a 100. It's a stunning Roman triumph.
Boo! Death! Death! Thumbs down, death. Lame. There were a lot of hundreds. The Washington Post, I remember, I didn't put it, but I know who did it. The Washington Post gave it a 30. The movie, which is about imperial grandeur and vanity, ends up looking like a Muppet version of Peter Pan versus Captain Hook. What's good about the film has been by then has been long interred with its bones. This person hated it.
I don't understand.
Yeah, that is like heavily exaggerated. This was a douchey review.
Who watched this movie and was like, "This is the Muppets"?
Yeah, I didn't. The Oliver Reed's character is there's a little bit of flamboyancy and a little bit of what's it called? Who's the bad guy from Waterworld? What's his name? Dennis Hopper. A little bit of that like over the topness opera. There's a little bit of opera from him, but he's pretty subdued. All things considered, he's the most of them. I think Joaquin is playing it straight. He's playing a person who's going mad. There's no like opera to it. I think Oliver Reed has a little bit of that because, you know, he's a trained theater actor and then moved his way onto the screen. So like I think there's leftovers for that. But Muppet, I don't know, man. That's crazy.
What movie was this person watching?
Yeah. All right. What do you give it?
I feel like it lands closer to like a C.
I'm kind of in the position to give it like a C plus. Because there's good. You get through it. You have feelings through it all. It's not until you really start pulling through the grass that you start to see the issues with it. I do grade it that kind of low because there were moments where it was boring. It is too long. Some of the visuals suck. They're not good. Some of the editing is all over the place. So it has issues. I'm not allowing it to get away with that. But it gets through it. It has moments of a message. It has moments of emotion.
Mhm.
And it has good actors who do a good job. It's not one of those where you have a good actor who just like doesn't care.
Right.
You have good actors who do well, but the story is kind of all over the place. It depends on a lot of suspension of disbelief that doesn't that it's not a good place to be to depend on that. And this movie depends on that. So like I don't feel like I can give it like a B- or something, but I also think like there's a lot of good in it. And it was 25 years ago, you know, that was still kind of it won literally turn of the century. And it was a place where movies were taking a new step in CGI and a new step in and how to make it. But I do think I'm going to piss people off and say this, which we had talked about off camera. I have a theory that like Ridley Scott really isn't that great. And this makes me more confident in that. I think he can make pretty pictures. And I think that there are some really interesting style things that occur. I just don't think there's cohesion in it. You know, I don't know if the style and the story work together every time.
Yeah.
I think he has cool ideas, but I don't know if I do think that some people kind of put him on the top pedestal of directors and stuff like that. And I don't know if he deserves that. This movie kind of mid for me. So
yeah,
I give it a C+.
C+.
And we just lost a follower. Did you hear that? It was crazy. It was stunning. It peaked in the sound thing a little bit there.
Whoops.
But we will give this film. What do you think about the plus?
No, I feel like it leans towards the plus because it's not like it's slightly better than like yeah, I agree with the plus. I can land there because I think you're right. There are some things that are really interesting and really good about it, and I think for the time, it's hard to look 25 years back, and see what people saw back then. Because I look at these other nominees and everything, and being like, how did this movie win? But I haven't seen those movies, and so it'd be interesting to go back and watch those and be like, okay, I can see how this was the best of these collections. But I don't know, it's hard to go back and see it from the eyes of someone who is in the year 2000.
Yeah. Well, and two, because like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon won Best Cinematography, but wouldn't even practical effects technically be visual effects? Or is that strictly Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon didn't even get nominated, and I'm like, the visual effects that they do, the stunts, the flying, the action that occurs in that movie is crazy. And it's so weird that they didn't even think to add that. And it feels as though they really were kind of putting it on the pedestal for the CGI aspect of it. Which I will say, this movie did have some pretty good practical effects.
Oh, yeah.
The practical wasn't bad. There were some flops, but all in all, the practical was pretty good. I think they should have leaned into the practical a little more and avoided the CGI entirely. Or rather, I bet you there's a lot of really good CGI in this movie that is overshadowed by the bad. I bet you there's a lot of CGI that was the interior of the building. Like, I don't think all those buildings were sets. I think a lot of it may have been CGI. I haven't looked into it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to assume it's CGI. And if that's the case, that is stunning. That is great. But it's shadowed by some choices to leave in or to go overly ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. This I hope this is worth it. No. Oh, come on. Oh no. I put in the wrong name. Here we go.
Martin, here's $10 to invest in the futures market. Martin, you're up $1 million. Yes! And now you've lost all but $600. You got greedy, Martin.
The reason I bring that up is because I feel like this movie they were kind of into it with the CGI, and then they got to a point where it's like, Ridley, you got greedy, buddy. So I want to look into it, and I want to assume, and you know, if I stand corrected, I don't care. But I think there's more good CGI in this movie than I think there is. It just, again, that scene where Joaquin is on the ledge, or not the ledge, but on the balcony, and you see the city, and just, it looks so bad. It's so bad. Anyway, I feel like I could complain about bad CGI all night long. Well, Tristan, thanks for watching this movie with me.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Audience member, thanks for listening to us. You really pulled through for us, and we appreciate it. We will not be heading into the afterlife tonight, hopefully. And we'll see you next week. And with that, remember, review those rewinds, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.